tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Hello to our family near and far. I'm getting into this rhyming thing. It just comes naturally. OMG. Well, it's good to be back with you on this Hump Day Wednesday. And welcome to everyone to another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, Conversations for the World, and the podcast where voices rise. Yes, they're rising for sure. Stories unfold and inspiration takes center stage. I'm your host, Sabrina, and it's a pleasure to be back with you this evening. And, yesterday we opened a conversation for those of you who want to know, well, what the heck is she talking about today? I just uploaded those links for everyone who is joining us. Yes, we're on time this evening. Because we got to continue what we started yesterday. Because we opened a conversation under the title Young, Qualified, and Outnumbered. And let me tell you something. I know it opened a lot of eyes based on the number of calls that I got. I got calls up to pretty late in the night, and including this morning, earlier this afternoon, a number of messages as well. I know the conversation struck a nerve, but not in a negative way, not in an angry way. It's reality. It was more appreciation and gratitude, I must say, from those who were willing to reach out to me. And I want to thank everyone for reaching out. Obviously, the messages were received, and here we are. We were not able to conclude yesterday's or to finish the conversation yesterday. But for those of you who may have missed it, I shared the link later on into the night, along with the actual report that I was talking to for context on the Sabrina Turner's community activist Facebook page. Both links were there from the episode and the actual CBS News report. So they're both there so that you can see for yourself. And for those of you who are trying to play catch up, we talked about young people, education, ambitions, that they are capable, they're ambitious and they're capable, yet facing, difficulties and challenges in the job market and economy that feels that it's really stacked against them. And we talked about being outnumbered right here in our own country. And it's a similar feeling that is not only being felt locally, but regionally and around the world. And we talked about the pressure, the imbalances being felt, and the reality of how many Caymanians are living every single day. But today, we continue that conversation, but we're going to widen the lens just a little bit more, because this isn't just about our young people. It's about all Caymanians navigating Cayman that is changing faster than our systems, even our protections, it feels like, and our opportunities to keep up with. And that's why, today's continuation carries this new title that I've labeled it, Outnumbered at Home, the Caymanian Struggle in a Changing Cayman. And this is part two. This is a part two, because yesterday I would consider that laying the foundation. And today, like I said, we will go a little deeper. We'll pick up from a segment that talks about, the cost of living, the wage gap, the cultural pressures, and the emotional toll. And then what we will do is that we will move into something many Caymanians never saw coming or never realized that it would have trickled down to some of the most micro businesses that you could think of. And what I'm talking about this afternoon, we're going to delve into outsourcing, the jobs that disappear before they're even ever advertised, the roles that move overseas quietly, and the opportunities that Caymanians never even get to compete for. So, you know what? Whether you're joining us for the first time or you're continuing on from yesterday, I encourage you to get comfortable, settle in, because this is a national conversation and this is a conversation that we will continue to expound on. Yes, but please do remember that the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. Now, this program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, or financial advice. Now, all participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. By continuing to stream, or listen from whatever platform you're on, implies acceptance to this disclaimer. 345-936-8255 is the number to call in and join in on the live conversation. Feel free to WhatsApp me there as well. And make sure you like, follow, share this page with your friends and family so you're always notified. You never miss an episode of Sabrina Speaks as we continue to build our community one episode at a time. You know how we do it here? I see you, Connie Bonnie. Lovely, beautiful, beautiful. North Carolina love is in with us this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just do an early shout out to the three of you who commented first. And Miss Barbara G. Miss Barbara G is with us this evening as well. Normally, I like you all to build, and we got to acknowledge those who are early to class and early to comment. So we just want to let you know that I see you. I appreciate you guys. You have been my rock. You have been here from day one. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it very, very much. Let's get straight into what we do here best. We tackle the weather, then we go into the news, and then we have a little fun acknowledging all of you as you settle in here this evening. Let's see what our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service has in store for us. And guess what, guys? I've noticed this evening our weather radar is back up. Yeah. Yes. It's back up. And I had to capture that for us because it's now operational. And so for all of you guys who are, into weather, and really there's one thing about the satellite imagery, but it's something unique about having our own radar images. Well, it's back up and it's running. I don't know from when, I don't know if I missed it, but I just saw it today because I've been giving you images for the satellite images. But yeah, changed it up a little bit when I saw it was operable. And here you are. This is the image from our weather station here in the Cayman Islands this evening. Let's get into the weather forecast for this evening and into tomorrow. The synopsis is calling for this moisture that is present in the mid and upper levels of our atmosphere will promote the presence of cloudy skies. Moderate southeasterly winds and seas are expected to continue across the Cayman area for the next couple of days. Now, satellite imagery shows numerous multi-layered clouds across the Northwest Caribbean drifting west. And with that, we see where the forecast for tonight is calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 20% chance of isolated showers. Now, temperatures will fall to the mid to upper 70s, and winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. The forecast for tomorrow is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of isolated showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, winds will be southeast 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. There will be a high tide this evening at 6:47, a low tide at 12:50 a.m. and another high tide at 5:46 a.m. tomorrow morning. The sun will set, my friends, this evening at 7:02, and the sun will rise tomorrow at 5:48. The outlook is calling for similar weather that is expected through late Friday, with an increase in shower activity through Saturday evening. So for all of you who are planning your weekend, there you have it. It's a long weekend here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. And for all of you that are going out for the celebration of the King's birthday parade, you know how that go. And we are going to make sure that you get there on time, because they're asking people to be seated by 7:30. Yeah, so it's an early day. And just make sure you're going to go out and you're going to support our two recipients this year. You get there early. And whatever it is you plan for, we just love those long weekends, don't we? Let's turn our attention to what news is making Sabrina Speaks this Wednesday afternoon, starting with local news. The National Workforce Development Committee has launched a new Caymanian employment survey, inviting employers across all sectors to share their experiences in hiring and developing Caymanian talent. Now, the survey aims to identifying barriers to recruitment, internship, and apprenticeship opportunities, and ways to strengthen entry-level pathways. Official says that the feedback will help shape the national workforce development strategy, ensuring training and employment programs align with real labor market needs. Now, the survey is open from June 10th to June 24th at publicconsultation.gov.ky. And there you have it up on the screen for you, hoping that will make the whole navigation process easier. And I'll also share their post with you later on after the show. The Ministry of Environment and Sustainability and the Public Health Department are urging Cayman Islands residents traveling to the 2026 FIFA World Cup to take steps to protect their health before and during their trip. Now, officials advise checking routine vaccinations, especially measles, and taking precautions against mosquito-borne illnesses such as dengue and Zika. Travelers are also reminded to reduce risk at mass gatherings, practice safe sex to prevent infections, include Mpox, and monitor for symptoms after returning home. Now, the World Cup runs from June the 11th to July 19th across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. With summer approaching, the Department of Sports has opened registration for its 2026 youth camps, urging parents to sign up early as spaces fill quickly each year. Now, the programs offer a wide range of activities for young athletes, including basketball, netball, volleyball, football, rugby, cricket, taekwondo, boxing, fitness, aquatics, water aerobics, and junior lifeguard training. Official says parents should select the correct age group and register as soon as possible to secure a spot. In other local news making headlines this evening, we see the Parliament of the Cayman Islands will officially open the 2026-2027 session on Friday, June 19th, with the state opening of Parliament at 2 p.m. at the House of Parliament here in the Cayman Islands. Now, the ceremonial proceedings will mark the formal start of the new session and bring together members of Parliament, senior government officials, members of the judiciary, invited guests, and the public. Now, the event sets the stage for the legislative agenda for the year ahead. The Human Rights Commission is praising the progress made at the Ponciana Mental Health Facility following a visit on June 9th. Commissioners highlighted the award-winning center's therapeutic design and its focus on rehabilitation, independence, and recovery. Ponciana currently supports 20 residents with a team of 55 staff, offering amenities such as arts and crafts, gym, computer stations, and vocational programs. While noting the facility as a major step forward, the HCR says Cayman still needs dedicated juvenile and forensic mental health services and sustainable funding to support future growth. We turn our attention over to news making regional headlines for this evening. We start with Jamaica. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says 9 travelers with recent travel histories linked to countries affected by the current Ebola outbreak are now under mandatory self-quarantine as precaution. He stressed that Jamaica remains Ebola-free and that the monitoring measures are part of the government's highlighted surveillance's response. Dr. Tufton noted that the public health teams continue to track travel-related risks closely to ensure early detection and protect the wider population. Nationwide is reporting that U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth flew to the American naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba on Wednesday. Now, while officials have not released full details of the visit, the trip comes amid heightened regional security discussions and ongoing U.S. operations at the facility. His arrival underscores the strategic importance of the base, which remains on the United States' most closely watched military installations. Also, the U.S. Embassy in Mexico has issued a new travel warning for American tourists heading to the country for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. According to reports from CBS News, officials are urging visitors to exercise increased caution, noting ongoing security concerns in several regions and advising travelers to stay aware of their surroundings, use reputable transportation, and follow local guidance. Now, the embassy says fans should plan, monitor official alerts, and prioritize personal safety throughout the tournament. Jamaica Ministry of Labor and Social Security says more than $10 billion has now been spent on hurricane relief and recovery efforts. Minister Pernell Charles Jr. reported that the bulk of the funding, $9.5 billion, supported the BOOST program, food distribution, post-hurricane operations, and logistics for field assessments. He added that an additional $152 million was provided through UNICEF to assist PATH households and persons with disabilities. Now, the update was delivered during today's post-cabinet press briefing. Barbados is moving to fast-track gun-related cases with the introduction of a dedicated gun court, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has announced. She says the new system will enforce a zero-tolerance approach to firearm offenses, with legislation being finalized to ensure cases are heard and resolved within the coming weeks. The Prime Minister stressed that the shift and decisive action is essential as authorities work to curb gun violence and strengthen public safety across the country. One second for me as we continue this international section, because this story is quite interesting and I'm quite sure that it will actually catch the attentions of everyone here at home, because what I'm talking about is Honda. Yes, Honda has issued a major recall for several old Pilot, Ridgeline, and Odyssey models built between 2016 and 2019. Now, after regulators confirmed a crankshaft defect that can cause engines to stall while driving, a broader federal investigation also reviewing newer models up to 2025, which could mean more vehicles are added. Now, Honda says inspections and repairs will be provided free of charge and owners will be notified directly. As we continue with regional and international news here this evening, we see where Princess Anne will undertake a 2-nation tour of Asia next month as part of her royal engagements. Accompanied by her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, the Princess Royal will visit the Republic of Korea from July 13th to 15th before traveling to Thailand from July 16th to 17th. Now, the trip forms part of the royal family's ongoing program of international outreach, with further details of engagements expected closer to the visit. We see over in the U.S. where U.S. inflation surged again in May, with consumer prices raising 4.2% year on year, the highest level in more than 3 years, and up to 3.8% in April. Government data show the spike was driven largely by soaring energy costs as the Iran war continues to disrupt global oil supplies. Now, gasoline prices alone jumped more than 40% compared to last year, pushing overall living costs higher for households nationwide. Core inflation held at 2.9%, but analysts warn that elevated fuel prices are keeping pressure on the economy. Now, the conviction of 19-year-old Camarlo Anthony for the fatal stabbing of Francisco student Austin Metcalf has been a growing racial flashpoint in Texas. A Collin County jury found Anthony guilty of murder this week for a 2025 track meet stabbing, a case that drew and is drawing national attention as prosecutors rejected claim of self-defense. Anthony was later sentenced to 35 years in prison, prompting emotional reactions from both families and renewed debate online over race, school safety, and the justice system overall. And as we wind down this section of international and regional news here this evening on Sabrina Speaks, we take our attention, yes, far over in Albania, where hundreds of protesters have taken to the streets to oppose planned luxury resort on a protected stretch of the Arctic coast. Now, the project is backed by a company leaked to Jared Kushner, son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump, and has sparked anger amongst environmental groups who say that the development threatens one of the country's most sensitive coastal ecosystems. Now, demonstrators are calling on the government to halt construction and preserve the area's natural heritage as debate over the project continues to intensify. Closing out this evening's section, we take a look at the business market report for this evening, June 10th. U.S. markets closed sharply lower today as inflation concerns and renewed U.S.-Iran tensions weighed in on investors' sentiment. The Dow fell 1.12%, and S&P 500 slipped by 0.089%, and the Nasdaq dropped 1.22%, reflecting broad declines across tech and industrial stocks. Now, oil prices continue to rise, with Brent crude up nearly 3% to $94.15, adding pressure to global markets. Now, gold also extended its slide, falling more than 4% to around 4,100 an ounce amid a stronger U.S. dollar and geopolitical uncertainty. Here at home, Caribbean markets saw limited momentum with regional trading activity steady across Eastern Caribbean exchanges. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That rounds up our evening's segment of news. And you got your weather. So we've taken a trip around the world right here on Sabrina Speaks. Let's send birthday shout outs to everyone who's celebrating a birthday today. From all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks platform, we celebrate along with you and wishing you many, many more. Yes, to all of you who may be celebrating a wedding anniversary as well. We want to celebrate and wish you all the best as that life has to offer you as well, as I grab the next section here of Sabrina Speaks. You could be celebrating life as well. Hey, we celebrate along with you. Why be gloomy and gloomy? Just give thanks. And that's what it's all about. Now, we understand that there are those amongst us and from wherever you're streaming us from, that you could be mourning the loss of a loved one. We want to let you know that we are here for you and we are keeping you in our thoughts and prayers as you navigate this difficult time. I was shocked now that I am here to hear of a dear friend, Owen. I got shared that news this morning, a very close friend and a former neighbor of mine who passed away on June 2nd. And I just want Miss Hal, his very good friends, and his family, Liam, the son, and his wife. Oh my gosh. I just want to let you know that my thoughts and prayers are with you through this time. And I'm just asking, God to protect you as you navigate this time. Our sincere condolences for the passing of Owen, and I know he was loved and known by many, especially in the Catholic Church. He dedicated everything to mend his wife back to health after her unfortunate accident where she was jogging a Saturday morning and she was knocked down, death's door multiple times. And I watched that man gave everything to nurse his wife back to health. My thoughts and prayers go out to you, the family and friends and loved one of Owen. And oh wow, that one shook me to the core. So, you know, oof, as you navigate this time, I just want you to know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. Let's turn our attention now to community announcements. Ooh, that was rough because that hit me hard this morning. I didn't know my family, and I'm going to try to get the image here a little later to share it. I just had no clue that he had passed. But I want to thank my family member who just by chance sent it to me this morning, and it blew my socks off, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. And I can share that here because it is a public announcement. Maybe there are others of you who are unaware that he passed. Let me just share this with you as we do here. Hold on with me. Since we're in this segment, might as well, because it's the transition sometimes is just not real, but this is community section that we're going through. So here we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so this is for Owen. You know, we want to Owen Henry, and his funeral service will be Saturday, June the 13th at 10:30 at the St. Ignatius Catholic Church. Yeah, he passed away on June 2nd after a period of ill health, and he was surrounded at his time by his loved ones. So I just want to, again, to his entire family, to the entire music, the National Choir Orchestra, they were just really, really good citizens, good people that joined us here. And, you know, in lieu of flowers, donations can be made to Owen in Owen's memory to the Cayman National Choir and the orchestra at Cayman National Bank. And that account number is 021-010-39-075. It's at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. So his family also wishes to thank the medical care team at Health City, Doctors Express, and Jasmine for their care and compassion. But oh my goodness. And what we're seeing here, that Owen was a very devoted Catholic, talented member of the Music and Theater Society and a member of the banking and compliance community, where he exhibited exemplary proficiency and professionalism. Now, Owen was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and moved to the Cayman Islands with his family in 1999, where he made a significant contribution to the Cayman community. Now, he was a member of St. Ignatius Catholic Church Choir and commented cantor, and a member of the Cayman National Choir, Cayman Islands Drama Society, and the Cayman Islands Banking Association. He will be remembered as one of the kindest, yes, hardest working and dedicated and faithful individual. Now, Owen was survived by his dear wife, Karen, his son, Liam, and many family and other friends. So, yes, his funeral service will be held this Saturday, June 13th at 10:30 at the St. Ignatius Catholic Church. So, yes, sending our thoughts and prayers out to the family, friends, and loved ones, to all the groups that he was affiliated with during this time. Yeah. So there we have it. Let's just let you know and bring you up to speed as we continue with these community events that June is Alzheimer's Month, and we know that the next event is the Seniors Lunch and Learn, and that's going to take place. There's another one I want to get here. Not death announcement though. The next event is going to be happening, as we can see here, on the 17th. So we want to make sure that if you missed the first event, they're fun day. And all of these events are going to be taking place at the South Sound Community Center. So the next one is Wednesday, June 17th for the Seniors Lunch and Learn. And then after that, it's June 25th for the Music for the Brain That's also at the South Sound Community Center from 10 until 1. And then Tuesday the 30th of June, all about Alzheimer's awareness. And that's going to be at the Georgetown Constitutional Hall in Georgetown. That's from 7 p.m. in the evening. So there you go. As we continue to put the spotlight and awareness on this, we see where we also have the Prospect Primary School PTAs presenting Donuts with Dad. And students are invited to bring their dad, stepdad, grandfather, uncle, or, any father figure that's in their life for a morning of, sweet morning filled with great community, delicious treats, and a lot of selfies. Yes, a lot of selfies. That's going to happen on Friday, June the 19th from 10:30 until 11:30. So for all of you guys who go to work and you want to maybe ask your boss from now to give you an early lunch, this will take place at the Prospect Primary School Hall. So yes, and kudos to the PTA persons there as well for that. We see where, even though we're pushing the calendar a little bit, on the 4th of July, Saturday, from 6 until 6:30 p.m., there's going to be a mango dessert competition, but the entire day will be dedicated to Mango Fest on Saturday. So yeah, we're going to make sure we get you some more information on that as well as it gets closer to the event. And there is the Ebenezer Church Adventist Youth Ministries Department that is inviting everyone out to their Paint and Praise. Now, this is a brunch style experience, and they're going to have a host there. So Miss Brasilia Barnaby Cuff will be their host, and this is going to be taking place on Sunday, the 14th of June from 5, and that's going to be at the Mary Miller Hall. Now, this is a brunch style experience. It is Paint and Praise brunch style experience. And of course, $50 for adults, and children is $20. So we want to keep you abreast of that. And guess what? Thursday night, today's Wednesday. You still got time to book for your cabana experience, farm to table, that takes place every Thursday at 7 p.m. This is your 4-course family style dinner experience, $65 a person. And I can tell you this, you will not be disappointed at all. You will not be disappointed. They always bring it home. They always do a phenomenal job. So for all of you who've never experienced it, maybe you want to put it on your things to do for this summer. You may want to just check them out, but it's best for you to give them advance notice. That's the team over there at Cayman Cabana, so that they are expecting you and the crew, you and the family, no matter what. Just get a bunch of people together. Damian Henry's in the house. Yes, good evening and welcome to everyone who is joining us. Harry, I see you. How you doing? You behaving yourself this evening? Damian is saying, good evening, all. Time is an irreplaceable resource, often viewed as our most vulnerable currency. How we choose to spend it shapes the quality of our lives, our relationships, and the legacy we leave behind. The clock isn't your enemy, it's your ally, urging you forward, pushing you to act now, to start today, to build momentum while you still hold the moment in your hands. Unlike money, time cannot be saved for later or recovered once lost. It demands intentions, presence, and clarity about, I can't finish this one for you today. I can't finish this one for you today, though. But Damien, you were on a roll there. But thank you so much for, again, your loyalty, your dedication, and kind words of inspiration every evening. Tuning in from the United Kingdom. We know it's 11 something over there, but you guys are stellars. And Harry as well, Miss Lucille, even though if she doesn't comment, we know she tunes in. And I just want you to know we appreciate all of you, because you could have many things doing, but you choose to tune in here on Sabrina Speaks. And I want you to know that we appreciate you. We want to appreciate all of you. Hey, Miss Barbara G, good evening. You're looking very formal today. The color and style suits you. Thank you. I don't know. It must be the hair. I don't know, but, and I'm a duster. and I dusted it today. But thank you so much. It's a very nice top that I just grabbed. I said, oh, it's been a while. I haven't worn this one. Thank you very much, Miss Barbara. Miss Sherry Coleman watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now, thanks to Connie Bonnie sharing her flowers of the day. Yes, look at these gorgeous beauties. Look at those. OMG, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. You could just get melted in a yard full of stuff like this. Yeah, these are just beautiful. Thank you, my love. You're always on time when it comes to us. And we got to give big shout outs to Green Valley Nursery, Donnie and her crew over there for keeping her green thumb alive and teasing us with all the beautiful flowers that she has there. So yes, if you haven't been to Green Valley Nursery, you got to check them out. It's a long weekend coming up. And I'm quite sure whether it's a long weekend or not, Donnie will entertain you. Yes, 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 everyone is welcome to visit Dawn. But thank you, Connie, for the beautiful flowers that you shared with us today. And you know what? I think we all needed that. Gosh, yeah, I needed that. Thank you so much. Damien is finishing what he sent for us and clarity about what truly matters. When you honor your time, you honor your potential. There's no way I could have rounded it up like that, but thank you for filling in the blanks for me today, Damien. Much, much appreciated. Lisa Brightly is in the house today as well. Good evening to you and everyone. Like your cool colored top. Thank you. I guess it's because I'm always wearing stuff so bright. I have a cousin who she says, Jesus, where you going with that? I like bright colors. I just do. I love pattern. I love that, but I don't like flowers. Weird. I don't really love floral. But whenever my family goes away, they always make the mistake. You see this bad boy, a phone in a video. They're in the stores and they're doing this, and they got a piece of garment in their hand trying to show me. But my eyes is looking on the side. I say, but oh, look at that burgundy thing. Oh, look at that. And they're like, Jesus, how you see that bright thing? It's funny as heck when they're over there trying to show me what they want to put me in. And I'm looking around them and looking all over the place. But yeah, oh my goodness. But thank you, Miss Lisa. It is good sometimes to just tune it down and just be subtle. But yeah, this is a beautiful top I got from Miss Lorna's Fashions. Miss Lorna, this is a top from you. Yeah. So again, got to big up my friends there. They covered me. They took good care of me. But thank you for the kind compliments. Much appreciated. Connie, yes. Hi, Miss Dawn. Yes, she's sending you her love as well. Now, for those of you just joining us, welcome back to another episode of Sabrina Speaks. And yesterday we started this conversation that I must say shook the audiences and actually sparked a lot of interest, of course. A conversation not only about young people, even though that's where it started, that's the hook, but it also delved into our economy, our identity, and the future of Cayman as well, what it could possibly look for, how we're preparing our young people. And I, again, would like to just thank every single person, every single one of you who tuned in and who messaged as well, who called and who shared your own stories and experiences. And I understand why you can't take it publicly, because we do understand the landscape here. So trust me, I'm just really happy that you trust me in sharing the realities of what you're facing. Many of you are working in the industry. A lot of you are Caymanians yourself. A lot of you are business owners as well, or working for an organization. And you're just like, yeah, thank you for having the real conversation. It's not that we're anti our own, but this is what we're facing. The good thing is, though, is that how timely, because now that WORC has this out, I hope that you all will click on it, on this link, and the survey, do participate in the survey. Yeah. If you're working in an industry or you're an employer, you want to participate in the survey. You really want to. And for God's sake, be as honest. If you're not an employer, or if you're not running a business or not into the hiring, don't participate, is all I'm saying, because it's specific. The reason I can tell you that is because I did it. I took the survey. Yeah. And I wanted to see exactly how long it was. Clickety split. A lot of questions that you answer just straight up, and percentages, which is in whole numbers. And then there's a block in there that you can give an opinion. And it was very straightforward, like I said. But if you're an employer, you may want to help. This is the only how we're going to measure it. And so for all of you who are in the industry, you want to actually participate in this, and just go ahead and do the survey. Like I said, at the end of the show, I will share the link of today's broadcast and that link so that you can participate in the survey and give your feedback. HR persons, small, micro, medium-sized businesses, just be open, honest, and answer it. Again, it's your choice. It's not long. I was expecting it to be longer, to be honest, but it is not long at all. So because of what we began yesterday, wasn't just a podcast. It was what I'm seeing now and feeling is a national awakening. And today I want to continue, and we'll pick up where we left off. But what was ironic, after the show, the US is an hour ahead of us. And I have this thing of constantly into news. I was watching Fox News Miami, and Inside Edition comes in after the 10 o'clock or the 11 o'clock news. And guess what? One of the stories were on Inside Edition yesterday evening. You can go back if you got TV on demand, and you can pull up Inside Edition. I don't know how it works. One of their stories in Inside Edition last night was the shortages in summer employment that is being felt across the United States this year. And you have students who are saying, there was one young lady who was interviewed, and she said she applied for at least 30 jobs, summer jobs, and she has yet to hear anything back. And all I could do was look at Eric. I'm like, what? OMG, this is a part of my show that I just logged off and that I'm continuing tomorrow. And, she said that it looks as though if you don't, some part about AI came up about it, not much, but more so if her parents didn't have a friend who do a program with swimming, like a YMCA program, she would probably still be waiting on somebody to even acknowledge her resume, her job applications. And she was grateful that she landed a job, even though she went through the normal channels. It took a friend, a family friend, to go to a friend for her to get a job. And that's the only how she actually landed something this summer. But they did acknowledge that based on the cost of doing business, inflation, which we see made the news today, businesses are actually cutting back. And this summer, it's not looking up too good in the US for summer employment. So because of all of the pressures that they're seeing, cost of operations, that they're less inclined right now of hiring this summer. So there we go. I'm telling you, it is a topic that is happening. I'm just so happy that I started this conversation, because then it brought other conversations up. And like I said, your feedback means the world to me. And after, we present the station, the topics here, you come back and it tells me, one, that I'm hitting home, that it's relevant, and that you appreciate what I'm doing. That's what it tells me. I'm just going to get some images up here as we continue with today's discussion. But yeah, so let me tell you, I don't want anybody to feel as though we are in isolation by any means, because we're not. This is something that is happening internationally. And the big United States of America is even cutting back on summer jobs, not by any means to say that internship opportunities are not available here. You understand what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is this is happening internationally as well. So if you're joining me for the first time today, welcome. And if you're here with us, just buckle up, because today we're going to go just a bit deeper Denver, how are you, my dear? And talk about the emotional, financial, and even the cultural pressures that Caymanians are living under. And by extension, this is far reaching because it's even speaking loudly to our brothers and sisters in the region. So we'll talk about the squeeze as well. And more importantly, what we can do about it. So let me take this quick call before going into today's discussion. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks.
Hello.
Hello. You're live.
Yep. Good afternoon, baby.
Good
I
afternoon.
say, yeah, what you were just saying is the truth, because from last year, and I mean we in a different year now from last year when I was in the States, they were cutting down on staff on jobs and things, because where my daughter worked, they let her go a whole load, saying that they were downsizing. But I was praying, she said, gee, mommy, things are stressful because I could wake up today after all these years and have a job. Plus she have a part-time job too on Saturdays, because she work her regular job Monday to Friday, and she have a part-time job. And they had start cutting down hours. They cut her hours so bad because they're saying about, do things, get not that busy and whatever, because apparently things are bad, whatever. So what you saying is true. It's not only him. Out there in good condition, plenty of people, because I know one other friend were looking job and they said they put in about 50 applications and then now we bring that one answer. So that's true. It not only here, and that was from, I'll tell you, that was from last year. Okay, remember I went from November till March this year. And from then that, and I'm sure that, and she said that they were gonna be letting go more, because they had let her go maybe about, and that's why she so stressed out now, because they let her, I think it was like 8 from her job, and then they assign parts to them people, because they does, clients and stuff. And first she only went to, she only had about 5 people, and now I think she got like 14 clients. So they and they're not getting no increase on pay, but they just split them up, with different ones and let her go plan one, because she was upset with one good friend that she had, but she said luckily he said he wasn't worried because his wife got a good job and he's smart and very qualified, so maybe he would get something else. And they had lose everything in a hurricane, but apparently he don't get a job. But it now on the hand, it bad away, and it can get worse.
Yeah.
And I want to just ask you one little question: is Mr. Jim okay, my friend, Mr. Jim? Because then I hear I know he don't call in.
He I think he commented on Miss Andrew's show. So, but yeah,
correct. But I was listening to him, but that was saying, and I hear nothing, and I see him commenting nothing on you or on her. So I was just wondering if he was okay.
Yeah, I'm going to drop him a line and just to do a welfare check. But yeah, I will.
Yeah, well, tell him God bless him, and I hope he's doing okay. Because I would say, like I say, he don't call much, but he always,
he's always commenting. Yes, I know he's been busy. He's been working on a little project, but yeah. So I know he's been very busy.
I haven't seen anything for a while. I won't see. Okay, that's good. Okay,
Jimbo, my Jimbo. He's still my Jimbo.
Yeah, I'm not too good because my husband, I don't know, he getting. Yesterday we went, and I don't know, he look like he getting tired now. Sabrina look like he giving up. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about this, and I gotta go do a scan tomorrow and thing, but he refusing to eat, and then he lose 4 pounds, which not good since the last time. He lose 4 pounds in 3 weeks, because he was gaining, and now yesterday when they weighed him, he lose 4 pounds. So that's not too good. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm so stuck. I don't know what to do, but all I can do is pray. Yeah. But he look like he getting tired, like he don't want to fight no more. So I don't know.
Oh no. Well, we'll definitely keep you again very dear to us in our thoughts and prayers. As I know this can't be easy for you. There's no way. It can't be. No.
But I pray in the morning, and I just ask God to fix whatever it is. But I don't know, Sabrina. Yeah. It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Oh Lord.
I don't wish it on nobody. This is very hard.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers, Michelle. But just be strong. And there's a family here. A virtual family. Yeah. We may not be in your face, but we're here.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for your contribution. Denver is joining me this evening. I was looking for one more thing, but that's okay. It is not going to make or break the show. Denver, yes, part of your show last evening, many will find themselves in this situation. If you don't know AI or know someone, you are royally on a highway on your own. Miss Lucille, good evening. Welcome to the show. Staying up late with us this evening from the United Kingdom. Sabrina, I'm here. I'm going on I am going nowhere, leaving you all, only praying to see the Cayman Islands bring back some of the 70s and some of the good people to come back, whether from Dixie or Prospect. My brain cannot cope. My love blessings always say stave. Oh my goodness. Miss Lucille, sending you lots of love. And again, thank you for letting us know. I know that. Even though some of you don't comment, that's I know you're tuned in because eventually you get to hear the discussions and stuff, and you'll reach out to me privately. So I just want you to know that we appreciate you letting us know publicly that you're there. Oh Jesus, Connie said she divorced Jim. That's why. Oh, he gone so quiet. Oh God, no. You see what? Come on now, Connie. You on one soapbox, you killing him. I divorced him, that's why. And then you say, hi, Jimbo. Like, really? What the heck? You switched in the same breath. Oh my God, you might be found with Alfred. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Let's get into it this evening here on Sabrina Speaks, because we got a lot to unpack. We got a lot to unpack here this evening as we continue to speak reality and continue to learn. 345-936-8255 is the number to call, weigh in on the conversation. I know a lot of you say, Sabrina, it dead air for you because we're so intrigued with what you're saying. And a lot of the stuff gives us food to think about. And what's interesting is that how much of you say you go back afterwards, because with me breaking sometimes and going to the comments and stuff, which is good, you say, I got to really hear what she said. So that's interesting that a lot of you actually replay and go back because it is so profound what I'm sharing. And again, I thank you. I thank you for your feedback. Even those that I can perfect, tell me. I appreciate it. It only makes me better here. I'm not going to take it personal. Trust me. Just don't be rude. But yeah, I love the feedback. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just don't be rude and we'll be good. We friends still. Oh yeah, now you're trying to retract it, you brute. Little lighter movement. Yeah, trust me, Connie Bonnie. You know exactly, Miss Lucille. Don't cry, Shell. Keep on praying. God is good. Love you, Shell. So she's sending her thoughts and her love for Michelle Ma. Well, yeah, let's talk, go straight into this and this continue our discussion from yesterday, because what we're going to pretty much feel, and I in an earlier episode, I said this, it almost feels like we're into the pressure cooker. We're into that. And, at some point in time, boom. I'm hoping it never gets there. But, when we look at the global trends, we've heard testaments that it's real. People who are living it, they're feeling it, be it internationally or locally. We've talked yesterday about the entire structure of the economy. We even looked at and talked about the facts that Caymanians, and you're going to hear this a number of times, as bad as it feels, she bringing that up again. How much time is she going to say that? Because it's factual. And the more we say it, the more certain doors, the way you think, what you say will possibly change. We talked about the fact that Caymanians are outnumbered in our own home. And now we need to talk about what that is feeling like. Because what we're seeing is that numbers tell one story, but lived experience is really another. And what we're seeing is that Caymanians, especially the young Caymanians, are living in what I can describe as a pressure cooker. Let's just begin, for the purpose of this continued discussion, and talk a little bit about the cost of living. Cayman, as we know, is one of the most expensive places to live in an entire Caribbean. You can almost look at it from a global standpoint, right? And honestly, one of the most expensive places in the world to confirm that. We see where rent is high, groceries are high, utilities are high, insurance are high, and wages, there's a huge question mark there. Wages are not keeping up. So what we're seeing is that young Caymanians come home from university, they're excited, hopeful, ready to start their life. And then they realize they can't even afford to move out. They can't afford a one-bedroom apartment. And some of them are even struggling, unless they're fortunate and their parents buy them a car. They can't afford to save. And what we're seeing is that before we even talk about buying land or even owning a home, what we see here is pretty much the average studio apartment, minimum. Then you got the average and maximum. And these numbers are just averages, guys. It could be more, way more than that, right? We're seeing where the average monthly one-bedroom apartment, we wish, is now almost starting at what the max is. But you can get some, it all depends on where. Average 650 or, and then you got the monthly rent of a two-bedroom apartment. It can go as much as 2,000. And then the studio apartments, this is pretty much on a year. This is the realities of numbers that what we're seeing here, right? Then you look at, I duplicated that. That's what happened. That's why I can't find that one. Yeah. And then you look at the realities of all of this. This is not a joke. This is a true reality. This is the true reality of what we're facing here at home. And it is not easy for anyone just starting out to meet some place to say, okay, let me get out on my own. No, it's not easy. What we see here is then that wages, and you have said it over and over again, that the GDP is high. Cayman has a high gross domestic product per capita. But it doesn't mean then that Caymanians aren't earning high incomes. Many Caymanians, we've noticed, are working 2, sometimes 3 jobs, but yet they say we lazy. Some are working full-time and still living paycheck to paycheck. And when you combine the high costs with even stagnated wages, right? What we're seeing is that Cayman sneezes. Sneezes, squeeze, gets cold, and this is where that analogy of the pressure cooker comes in. And it feels like you're working and working and working, you're not getting the distance. You're never getting ahead. It's feeling like you're contributing to a wealthy country, but not feeling wealthy yourself. And then there is an opportunity gap, because that is real and it exists. We have heard it from a number of you. Caymanians are told, and based on this survey, get educated, get qualified, come home and contribute. But when you find yourself coming home and wanting to give back, they find entry-level roles requiring 3 to 5 years experience, mid-level roles that are filled with imported labor. Then they see the senior roles dominated by foreign professionals, and it's like it's almost impossible to break that glass ceiling, so to speak. And then we see then the reality that's not going to disappear. For the record, it's not going to disappear. I think we've established this yesterday. Work permits renewed even when Caymanians apply. And what that does is that creates a very specific kind of frustration, if I was to label it as frustration. Because the frustration then of feeling like the door is always slightly open, but never opened for its natives. And there's another side of this, and that's the cultural side. Because what we know for a fact is that Caymanians are generous. We are welcoming, even to our own demise. We are community-minded. But when you are outnumbered, when your culture becomes a minority, it feels like, when you're struggling to keep that alive and in the forefront, when your traditions are becoming to feel overshadowed, and when your voice feels drowned out, it creates a quiet, heavy pressure. And that, even though you're not able to even articulate it or be able to put it into words sometimes, you hold on to that pressure, not even realizing what you're holding on to. And that is a pressure to preserve, a pressure to prove your worth in a system, unfortunately, that just wasn't built with you in mind, because it was almost on a survival. Yes, this is what we got to do because we got to keep it coming going. We got to, well, your people are being left behind. With that, my friends, that has an emotional toll. Yeah, it does take a toll. Let's be honest. It takes a toll on every person. Even if you're about to retire, even if you're fresh grad, out of school, it takes a toll. It's a feeling like they're starting life already behind. And it takes a toll on the parents who work hard to give their children opportunities. Many cases who have gotten back into debt for whatever reason because they just couldn't get the scholarships fast enough, or probably scholarships were denied. And only to watch those same young men and women, our future, struggle. And that, my friends, takes a toll by extension on families who feel priced out in their own communities and their own homes. It takes a toll on everyone at the end of the day. And even our national identity, it feels that it impacts, because our country is just not about buildings and beaches, hotels, huge developments that almost makes you feel, well, they can build them all they want. I don't ever see me getting there. That's not for me. And this is not picking on any development. It's just applicable to the topic. Some of you may not have the skill sets that would even get your foot into here. Needless to say, own, be it pre-construction, even if you could get there. This is us. But where do we fit in? It's almost as though we were like a speck. That's how we're feeling. So yes, it takes a toll on our national identity, because a country is not just buildings and beaches. A country is its people. And when the people are feeling squeezed out, the country feels squeezed. But there's a truth that we must face. Because the Caymanian squeeze is not a personal failure. It is a structural reality. And I kind of dabbled into that yesterday, because it is as the result of us being a service-based economy, a high cost of living, a dependence on imported labor, a demographic imbalance, and globalized job market. And if we don't address it intentionally, realistically, sustainably, it would only continue to get worse. Hence, I'm taking the time to do my best to have the difficult conversations because it is real. And for whatever reason that some may not want to have the conversation, I think having it and opening the door for other things to come in is the first start. But there's a darker side to this that came up with the conversations yesterday. And what I'm talking about is the jobs that disappear before Caymanians even get to know that they even exist. And before we go into that other segment, because this definitely segues into it, I want to talk about the rise of outsourcing Caymanian jobs being done in other countries quietly, efficiently, and in some cases, permanently. But before we delve into that, just let me acknowledge these comments here. Denver is saying they pay rent by the bed these days upon $750 a bed and everything shared, kitchen, bedroom, and literally one small living room if lucky. You see what I'm telling you? Andrew's saying, hi, good evening. It's good for you to be here with us. Always happy to see you commenting. Denver also says, and that is a bed or a bunk. Only one can sleep in. Okay. I know of 3-bedroom houses with up to 20 living in them. Lisa is weighing in this evening. Good evening to you. We as Caymanians feel like we are in a vacuum, our children leaving to go elsewhere in order to survive. Lisa, it's not only the children, my love. I have grown persons who are having real conversations and exploring other jurisdictions as well that they can possibly retire in. So there is a lot of fact to what you're saying, but that is extended to even retired persons. Dean is weighing in this evening. Good evening, Dean. So the island will stay in this situation perpetually for the good or bad because we can't come up with a solution to free ourselves. BS. All BS. Down with the status quo. When they find the balance, Dean, yeah. Down, at the end of the day. Damian Henry is weighing in, even though it isn't an easy fix, what is the suggested response from this imminent crisis? There are some suggestions, but at the end of the day, global things will continue to happen. Geopolitical pressures, natural disasters, climate change, a lot of things will happen. And then you have diverging priorities of elected officials. So what is a priority now may not be a priority for the next cycle. We don't know. There are a lot of factors that will determine how we actually bring some solutions, okay? But we're highlighting some of the issues that is real and making sure that you're able to identify that it's not always the time that you're singled out, that you're not wanted. It is just the unfortunate environment and the economy that we have built here. I'm curious, does Cayman have any laws around Cayman biased jobs being filled by qualified Caymanian citizens first? We have a lot of laws under the labor laws and under immigration laws where it does give a national framework that prioritize Caymanians and residents alike, the residents who are persons with permanent residence married to Caymanians, first preference over someone who is imported, okay? When an employer or a person is employing a foreign national, there are laws that they should exhaust, making sure that they can find a local, a Caymanian or a resident who could fill the position before actually having to import labor. So the answer to that question is yes, but not all of the time, based on justification from employers or organizations that can demonstrate that there is adequately and in large supply thereof of persons who are local, resident, and Caymanians that are capable or able to fill the job. And the purpose of the discussion, which is a continuation from yesterday, is because we can see where globally the shift is changing where the appetite for entry-level positions are shrinking. The introduction of automation is actually holding persons back. And another thing that is actually limiting the employment of people because of the cost of doing operations nowadays, and some organizations are finding it even more attractive, is exactly what we're about to step into right now, and that's outsourcing. So yes, user WY5, whatever that long name is. Denver, we should close the doors for about 6 to 8 years. More is not better. Miss Dorothy, good evening. So good to have you join us this afternoon. And Denver is saying, I'd rather go back 15 years than continue as we are headed right now. Nationally, if that is the talk, well then look, remaining in your silos will not help this problem. That's why I'm opening the door and starting the conversation. So let's get into the outsourcing bit. And being very brutally honest here with you, businesses right here in the Cayman Islands are feeling the pressure just like everybody else everywhere in the world. High rent, high utilities, high cost of doing business straight up. And now what we're hearing, even though the boards have a mandate where work permits are concerned, Caymanian businesses are saying, oh my God, what they're putting us through to get an issuance of a legitimate work permit, it's setting us crazy. And many a times, especially if it's a first-time grant, it's causing delays. It's actually possibly causing contracts slowing down based on the nature of the business as well. Some of them have even said it has slowed down projects because the skill set is in short supply. Whatever. I'm just sharing with you some of the comments that are being shared. And many of them, if they could, they have discovered a new model. And that new model is outsourcing parts of their operations overseas. And they're doing that because it means lower overhead for them, no pension, no health insurance, no local labor laws, no work permit fees, because they're like, I'm giving this up. They don't want to give me the work permit, but you know what? Let me just try to source this. I have a friend who had a business who, for example, outsourced this part of their business for it. And, you know, I just can't fight the system anymore. Okay. So I'm going to outsource it. And what they're finding is that they don't need, in some cases, this huge office space anymore either. And often, many a times, they're getting faster turnaround. They're getting precision. They're getting less drama. They're getting a higher level of work that makes their business function so much better. From a business perspective, it makes perfect sense. But from a Caymanian perspective, the job seeker, it means fewer opportunities. Because what that is doing is that the job that you're hoping to apply for never really is going to exist. Oh gosh, that's too long, my friend. 345-936-8255. So what is happening is that we're seeing that being given or done to another country. And let's be clear. This isn't just one industry that I'm talking about here. We're seeing Caymanian businesses that are outsourcing accounting, compliance, some customer service, IT support, graphic design. You hear me? Data entry, administrative work, marketing, and on a very small scale, HR processing. And these are jobs Caymanians can do. These are jobs that Caymanians would want to do. But these jobs are being done in places, for example, India, the Philippines, Latin America, Eastern Europe, because it's more economical. but there has an impact. There's a huge impact. So what does that mean? That means the job market is shrinking from both sides. On one side, work permits fill local roles. And on the other side, outsourcing removes roles entirely. And you're still getting the work done. And many of you have said, weird, no one knows who's talking to me, because I never, ever do that. Every one of you are saying the same thing. Sabrina, I could tell you the truth. I'm getting better, faster return, and no errors, no mistakes. No, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, that one slipped me. Everyone that has spoken to me has used pretty much the same line. We're all human beings. We make mistakes. But what they're saying is, I'm outsourcing this. I don't have to deal with that with the staff on the inside. And I'm getting it back almost to perfection. Now, this doesn't say that crap can't happen. I'm just sharing with you experiences and keeping it focused on the outsourcing and why for some organizations it is very attractive based on the current landscape and environment that we're facing here. Because, like I said, there is two sides of this that has implications. And Caymanians, my friends, are stuck in the middle, competing for fewer opportunities because that desire still remains. But there is an invisible part of the entire story. And this is the part that really hurts the most. Because Caymanians don't even know that these jobs or whatever know that they even exist. They will never be posted on the WORC position registration site. No, because they're never advertised. You don't have to advertise it. They're never posted. They're never offered because they have just moved to a total new jurisdiction, quietly, efficiently, and in many cases, permanently. Andrew's weighing in this evening. We have to look at solutions now because more our population grows, demand for increased energy, food, and transportation gets more expensive. Energy cost is driving up expensive. Alternative energy needs to be put in place. Look at what's happening to Jamaica. Oh God. Miss Dorothy is saying something has to change in the interest of Caymanians and those who call Cayman Islands their home. And this is why I'm saying this is a national conversation. We cannot blame this on just the elected arm. This is a national conversation. We just can't blame it on the Caymanians. We just can't blame it on the employer. This is national. This is collective. This is all of us. Because the reality is, this is a global trend. Yes, this is not just a Cayman issue, but the Caribbean, the Cayman Islands feel it harder because of what? Our sheer size. We are small. And when a company in a big country outsources 20 jobs, the impact is spread out. But when a company here outsources 20 jobs, there was one particular financial institution that, remember, they restructured one particular department, how much locals were displaced? It's been happening, but it's been happening silently. They absorb who they can absorb, and they offer beautiful, lavish packages. But technically, you're unemployed. And that's 20 Caymanians with a possibility who never got a chance when these positions then are outsourced. And when you combine outsourcing with even being outnumbered with the high cost of living, with the AI screening, and with the remote work competition, yes, our locals are squeezed in every direction. I'm just highlighting the realities of the environment that we are now forced to navigate. But the question we must ask, how do we protect? And I get you guys, you're asking, how do we protect our opportunities in a world where jobs can be done anywhere? I have heard Denver comment that there have been times where positions have been on rollover. Someone goes on rollover, bang, before you blink, the individual is right back. Has the rollover really, really created replacement for locals? Or even when it's a rollover and the person decides to leave, the organization just do not replace it? Has it afforded more locals with jobs? That's a true question. I can tell you with some conversations that I've had with business owners, no. No meaning when an individual went on a rollover in some organizations, a Caymanian did not fill that position. When the 1 year came back, guess who came back? Yeah. Hence, I say, if the position is not outsourced, it's frozen, which is a cultural problem. And are you going to get to the point where we're going to say you have to employ Dick, Sam, Dora, Mary, Jean? Are we going to get to that point? I have heard the frustration in employers' voices says, you're not going to tell me who to employ in my business. We're not going down that line because I'm telling you what, I will definitely outsource what I can outsource because I'm not going to have you dictate to me who to put in my business. That's the other side of the coin, my friends. Can you agree or disagree with them as a business owner? Would you want to be in a position where you're dictated to on who you should put in your establishment? That's a general question that I'm putting out there. Keith Orrit is weighing in this evening. It's been a minute, Keith. How have you been doing? People that we vote for who claim to be so intelligent and love and care about Caymanian people so much are the same people that have destroyed the future of our young people. Damian Henry is weighing in as well. I think some solution would be to provide startup grants or low interest loans for young entrepreneurs. Ensure policies prioritize qualified Caymanians for roles before issuing permits. Improve transparency in hiring practices and provide retaining programs where gaps exist. Our user is back. How to incentivize companies to hire locally and or prioritize them if they do not. I think there was an accreditation system, which is a little off from what you're saying, user. But that is also a suggestion as well that they could possibly do. I think that was started back a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, pre-COVID, where they were incentivizing a government of the day. The government of the day was incentivizing, businesses who were hiring and giving Caymanians a chance. It was like a public-private partnership. And that was short-lived because all of these things, of course, has to be funded. So, yeah, I like your suggestions, all of you, for what you're saying. And I can hear the passion coming out in a lot of the comments here because you're getting it. It's not that I can't jump to the solutions. I am deliberately highlighting to you the realities, sharing stories that are in real time that have been shared with me. And then you will understand exactly the environment and that both sides are right and you have a right to defend. But the reality is inward investment has to continue. There still has to be a balance. You can't just pull the plug, so to speak, because that's not realistic. And yes, I said it. They may want you to think that way based on how they speak. But the fact is, it is not realistic. And they're not going to have that hard conversation with you. This is not bad-mouthing them. If you want to secure yourself, hello, there are just certain lines you're never going to use. But this is why I'm doing my best with civics here and educating and opening the doors of reality that we're facing, and we're not unique in this. Every nation right now is grappling with getting this balance correct. That's the huge takeaway. Small island development states is grappling. Our brothers and sisters in the region is grappling while we're already into the hurricane season and we're praying that no natural disasters happen. We see where we had another 4-point-whatever earthquake yesterday off of Cuba evening. These things are still happening and life yet still continues. Lisa is weighing in. The present government is trying their best to deliver on the promises, so we need to give them time to deliver because they have a lot on their plates. The truth must be told. Exactly, which is why if people have been really, really listening, this is not coming after any government. Lisa, and anybody else who thinks that, then you've missed the message of the discussion. I'm just highlighting an article from CBS of what young people in the United States is facing, and I'm just giving it relevance to what right here is being faced. This is by no means political. And the stories that are being shared with us are coming from real people, business operators, employers, and persons seeking employment alike. But guess what, Lisa? They can't speak publicly. They can't. Denver is saying, happening for years. Rollovers come back to the same job. So how can any one company with 2 to 3 years over 2 to 3 rollovers yearly continue successfully? Big companies with 5 to 6 rollovers have no problem. Why? They already have replacements. Companies will advertise internationally for job positions and have an employee that can fill the position, but they take out a work permit for someone else. Make that make sense. Yes, and we've been hearing some of these. And remember, the only mandatory right now under the new guidelines for advertising for positions is that you must advertise in a local printed media. And that's subject to be amended, I'm understanding, because we're realizing that printed media is one thing, but we have digital media powerhouses as well. And you must register your position on the jobs portal. But there's nothing that's stopping any organization or individual from advertising in Mars, Timbuktu, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on any other platform that can reach millions around the world. Do you understand what I just said? Which means, my Caymanians, you're competing globally. You're competing internationally because the only mandate is that you advertise on the WORC's portal in a local printed media. But there's nothing stopping anyone from advertising it even on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere. There's nothing stopping you. Which, again, further dilutes your opportunities. And that's the message that I'm trying to bring back to what I've been saying. We're competing globally. And the demand has shrunk because we're seeing where less positions are being advertised. The ratio given yesterday, 15% jobs were cut, but 30% applications were being received. That in itself means it doubled for the same less positions. User is saying AI is coming for all eternity, entry-level, clerical, and other jobs. How is Cayman preparing for that? That's a big question, and I'm glad you brought it up because that was a topic here as well. And yesterday's thing was what and how are we preparing our young people for, as that continues to make its way. Many of the things have been automated. We are seeing, I have asked for a quote for one particular company to do some work for me, and I've yet to speak to a human. I identified it immediately from requesting the quote. It was automated. From scheduling an appointment, it was automated. When the individual showed up to do the quote, I just knew that they showed up, but I never interact with a human until the individual showed up. That, my friend, removed a human from doing all of that. It removed that small business operator from having to answer the phone, from having to respond back to my WhatsApp or my message. I just went on their business page and I dealt with everything on their page. It took me straight to their website. And then I could see the openings and the availabilities that I could choose myself. Guess what? Lo and behold, who showed up? And I never spoke. So you're quite right, user. You are quite right. Miss Lisa, Sabrina, I'm not missing your message. I'm just speaking my mind. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I want to make sure, Miss Lisa, that others don't mistake and miss, what do you call it, say? You miss the forest for the trees, because that is what I'm trying to honestly try and separate myself so that everything that I say is not taken out of context, Miss Lisa, because for some reason, no matter how good or substantive the topics are, I'm still being viewed as I'm against a government or I'm against an individual. So I thank you for speaking your mind. I never, ever want any one of my commenters to dilute from that fact, because your input matters. And this is the only space that is welcoming of that. But I just want to make sure that persons are not ever thinking that any of the discussions that we bring up here, as poignant, as emotional as they can become, that I'm after any administration. So thank you for that. And I want to encourage you to continue speaking your mind. Yes, caller, you're live.
I say, and one little more thing, I'll forget to say to you too, yeah, this AI thing, I take plenty of the job because when I was there, we went to Checkers and it was AI took our job, our order and messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to the window to pay, we said to the guy, when he tell us what we had ordered, we said to him it wasn't right. If he could have correct, because it was something for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, because AI had took the order. I said, well, this not right. And then I tell him, I said, well, cancel it because I not taking what I never order. And then another thing, most of the supermarkets too, because in plenty of the Walmarts we went, they putting in these
self-checkout.
Mm-hmm. The most I see in Anna, and we've been to Mabinela area, one that in Tampa area, all over different roads. And the most cashiers I see by the registers is 2. All the rest is, because I tell you, we don't understand these old checkout. Good thing I got here. They wouldn't sell me nothing. Nearly everything is self-checkout. Target putting in more, so that taking that jobs too. The everywhere downsizing, I tell you, this AI thing gonna take plenty of the stuff that human can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Wendy got AI taking orders too. I tell her, I say, I'm not going out there no more. You get food now. I can cook what, although my back hurt me, I can cook my food because AI messing up people things. Yeah, because our order were wrong, and the guy cleaner tell us, and it was Checkers, said that he couldn't correct it because AI had took the order. And say, well, here, boy, you can hear some foolishness when you're listening. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
That's going on big time. And that's fact. That none of lie. I wouldn't tell a lie.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
We're seeing it.
Yep.
Even in the UK, when you go to some fast food joints, I think there was a Mickey D's that I stopped in on a road not far down from Westminster. And you had to go to this big old board where you made your order. Yes, I ate junk food in the UK. And you just went and you paid, you used your phone or your card, whatever it was you had, and it spit out the receipt and you waited for your number to be called. You walked up to the window and you think, they weren't taking your order. You did it and you scrolled and you did what you had to do. Yeah. So it's a fact.
When she was placing the order, I said to her, I said, but Julia, that sound funny. And she touched me like, and then after she said, Mom, I said, that do sound like a person. And she said, Mom, that AI. And then I say, what's new? Yeah, that was AI took over all my Checkers. I don't have all of them like that, but there were one Checkers we went to.
They're doing it in stages. They're doing it in phases. But there is some suggestions that, that they governments can actually do. And we're hoping that even though these are not fading, I'm just highlighting the realities that are happening is all I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, but what you're saying is true. I tell her, I say, well, I like that. Take my order wrong, and then I got to take it because I take it well, I know. Then I read it wrong. That Wednesday.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Anyhow, thank you again for your
Okay.
contribution. Yes.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Sure. Dean Gillette is saying this is a predicament a country finds itself in when they are addicted to foreign for so many decades after killing their own workforce. I love capitalism. Andrew's weighing in. Our young Caymanian students going to university have very limited opportunities back here in the island. When they return, they compete with people who have the edge by being told they do not have experience. Yes, you're quite right. Damien also says these issues need fixing for a long time now. Even the blind person could see that. This isn't a quick fix, but it is one that should have been started already. The time for waiting has passed. Action is needed now with clear long-term commitment to getting it right. Andrew also weighs in by saying, right now, we are told to go online to license our vehicles. But what happens when the whole systems crashes indefinitely? Then they'll close until further notice, and then they'll have to do manual ones, I guess. I don't know. That's where the backup needs a backup, and a backup needs that backup. Ms. Dorothy says, there has to be a way to protect Caymanians, and we're going to share a few, and those who call Cayman Islands home, not to mention the younger population, because that's exactly who we're preparing this space for. Denver is saying, President past governments have always pushed for more. Now belly and can't digest this situation. Money is not the solution. Government must divest from our current sailing. Cameron is, oh my goodness, Cameron. Oh my God, Cameron. Cameron is here. AI have been taking the blame. What we going do? Call corporate. You are something else. Cameron, oh my goodness. Oh Lord, you surface. Keith is weighing in this evening. President past governments are cowards who continue to allow CUC and our local banks to do as they please because of greed and destroying the future of our young people. Stress, depression, and anxiety are going to cause a lot of mental issues for Caymanians because of the cost of living. User continues to weigh in this evening. How can small locally owned business be developed and fortified as employment hubs, whether tourism, food service, or experience-based business? This is where we're going to have to come together. Like I said, user, this is a national conversation, and we're going to have to joint discussions because each person will actually, what is happening is going to impact businesses based on their size, service, and all that sort of stuff differently. So even though there is going to be a common thread of surviving, it's not going to be as impactful on everyone as it's not going to be the same impact on every business is what I'm trying to get, which is why keeping your head above water is going to be taking a national conversation. Cameron says all corporate to make a complaint. We gonna end up talking to AI the same way. It pretty much as we continue here this evening. But, you know, there is some solutions because the question is, how can government then protect Caymanians without taxing them or without imposing taxes? Almost like a punishment, protection without punishment, and just striking the right balance, as I alluded to. That is a big question because what we're seeing, what we're hearing, even here, is that Caymanians want that protection, not punishment. And many of you feel that we've been punished based on our pace of growth and the opportunities. It's like you're growing faster than we're able to even educate our people, where we just can't keep up. And Cayman wants prosperity, not pressure. That's what we're seeing. So let's talk about the balance. And that's really just hitting the sweet spot. Yeah. The first thing maybe an elected arm can do is enforce or be a little bit more aggressive in making sure you have the guardrails in place for Caymanian priority hiring in a real and measurable way. Once they meet the requirements, have the skill sets to make sure that they can able to do it without making it seem dictatorial. Not just on paper, not just in a policy, but real in practice. And if a Caymanian is indeed qualified, and this is not only in the private sector, this is even in the civil service. They can't speak, but we know their stories existing. If a Caymanian is indeed qualified or can be trained, they should get the first opportunity. And if an employer chooses not to hire that local, they should be required to say so and prove why. Not with vague language, but who's even proof checking? There have been cases that have been shared with me where persons have said that they didn't even get an interview, but yet on the flip side, the organization applied for a work permit and named the individual as having been interviewed, but not successful. There's nobody doing the due diligence on the names that they call or the resumes that they put along with these applications to prove if they were actually shortlisted, contacted, or ever interviewed. You have persons out here who are saying it, that they get to understand, and you know how they know. They get to understand that their names are big up, called in these meetings, that they weren't successful, or they said this, that, they didn't do well in the interview, they fell short here. And somebody on those committees says, hold on, how come you didn't tell me you applied for this job at ABC? What do you mean? Yes, I did. But so how could you mess up on an interview? That's what you know. What do you mean? I'm still waiting for them to even acknowledge my application. Hold on. You weren't interviewed? No, I haven't even got an acknowledgement that they received my resume. Hello. That's reality, what's happening here. So, yes, they're making strides, but who is double checking, triple checking what's being declared on some of these letters? Yeah, because right now, too many Caymanians feel like the system is designed to overlook them, or not enough digging is happening. And that's something that we can fix without taxing anyone. It means that the gatekeepers needs to be a little bit more robust. And we know that there are just certain positions, there are certain occupations that is in short supply globally. The medical profession, even teachers, nurses, there are just certain key positions that is in short supply globally. We know that. So we're not saying every position, okay? But that is a suggestion. We know that we've already started on the reform of work permits without stopping them. Yeah, because again, let's be honest, Cayman needs work permits. Every country needs imported labor. Some countries will not exist without it. It is the facts. In the United States, you got Americans that would never be out there dust cropping and picking vegetables and stuff like that. They ain't gonna do it. And that's imported labor, okay? We cannot run this economy without imported labor. It's just a fact. But work permits must be structured in a way that it protects our locals, not sideline them. And there's a culture within the HR world, I'm hearing, that especially if human resources is from a specific country, you check the ratio of those persons that are being hired, they're more than likely are from that particular jurisdiction. And what that means is that limiting renewals when qualified Caymanians are available. That's a way to go. requiring real succession planning for Caymanians. We're seeing where that is an issue even within our government structure. They admit it. They're going to improve. I have so much hope for this new and incoming DG, so that maybe a lot of the locals who are in there and the Caymanians that are in there would say, yes, I may get a chance now. Not to say that the current one didn't start. It's continuation, a fresh eyes, different perspective, a different way of looking at things. So this is straight across the board, right? Prioritizing Caymanians for mid-level and senior roles, and also auditing industries where Caymanians are consistently underrepresented. This is not going to be easy, but it is achievable. This is not anti-expat either. This is proud to say pro-Caymanian. And it can be done without harming the economy. But you got to get that appetite. You got to get that desire, that hunger, in order to really show meaningful desire to make a change. But also, in order to get those results, you need to have clear statistics, which is why I'm imploring employers to do that survey. There's also another way, because you can build real pipelines, like not just scholarships. But you know how it goes. Scholarship without pipelines are like giving someone a plane ticket with no destination. That's just a fact. We need paid internships. We need apprenticeships, more of them. Graduate programs, industry partnerships, more of them. Mentorship networks, more of them. God knows Chamber of Commerce have been doing this for years, and they have done a phenomenal job. Whether or not it can be expanded anymore, it can be. As micro of a business as I was back in the day, I participated. Yeah. And these must be tied directly to sectors that drive our economy. We're talking about financial services. We're talking about tourism, construction, healthcare, and technology. Now, if we want Caymanians to succeed, we have a duty. We must build the runway, not just hand them wings, because we're setting them up for failure. And you see what happens with that. People can buy their way into funding this scholarship, funding that, but it ain't nothing say it's going to land a Caymanian a job. We need it to produce meaningful results. Another thing that they can consider is protecting housing and land for Caymanians. We see where this is, the minister is doing something, a big overhaul. And even though, again, these are suggestions, you ask, what are the solutions? I'm just naming them out. Again, for full disclosure, we're not coming after anybody. This is for discussion purposes. Talk about home ownership. Let's talk about land. Because if every local cannot afford, or if Caymanians can't afford, let's say, to live here, then everything becomes irrelevant. Government can protect Caymanians. There are ways. Expanding affordable housing, which I know they're trying to do, but that takes continuous funding. And it's also succession from one government to the next. It needs to be the same mandate with certain things going on, and it doesn't change every 4 years. Creating Caymanian-only housing initiatives. We see where that is. But if it's not funding enough, if we can't do it at pace, again, that is under, we got that. At least they're starting there. And also regulating speculative development. Interesting choice of word, right? But it's a fact. Also, incentivizing Caymanian home ownerships as well. Public and private partnership comes into play. And this is why alternate types of housing is at the top of the list right now because of pace, because of cost of construction. This is not about blocking investment or development. It's about ensuring locals have a piece and place in their country to build when we talk about land. We're struggling every day when it comes to even our culture. Yes. Because our culture is not an ancestry. No, it's not an accessory. Sorry. I'm getting sidelined here. And if the foundation of who we are, that is it. Can you imagine we had to do laws to make sure we put in place what our national drink is, what our national dish is, what our national outfits are, because there was at risk of losing who we are, and it had to be put in law? Can you imagine that? We had to do legislation to protect that. So that is a way that government can protect Caymanian, our heritage, our culture. More cultural education. We see where the Honorable Minister of Education is trying to do his best. Caymanian history more in schools. Local arts and storytelling. We're seeing where we can do that. And because when our people are outnumbered, cultures becomes the first line of defense. But then it comes with anger, and then they're like, "What's wrong with those? What's wrong with those people?" They don't understand. Years of feeling beaten down, feeling less, and it's as though the odds are stacked against you. Yes, it's going to come out in a rage, like you're a tyrant, and you're misread, when in fact all you're doing is fighting for preservation. There are also ideas that you can keep the economy strong without even taxing your people. Yeah, that's an elephant in the room. We don't want any more indirect tax. Cayman does not want payroll tax. I'm hearing more and more coming up though. What Cayman does not want to push is its people out of existence or making them feel less. And there is some good news, because we don't need to. We can remain a tax neutral jurisdiction, and you see where they're doing that by maintaining strong financial services. Is it that we're not understanding when they go away and they come back and they make these reports that it's diluted down in a language that you can understand how it ties into day-to-day things, why we're just seeing that they're taking flights? Yeah. Maintaining strong financial services is one of the things that we could do. Again, legislation, policies, and you update it. Encourage and responsible development as well, so everybody feels a part of it. Support tourism innovation. Open it up. That may mean we have to amend certain laws. Yes, I'm going there. Sunday trade. Extending hours of music playing. Yes, I've gone there. Yes. And ensuring compliance and global reputation helps us. We can protect Caymanians and protect the economy as well. It's not one or the other. It's both, but you got to get this sweet spot. So at the end of the day, it takes political will and all of us to understand how we got here. It's not the end of the road. There are solutions. But if you're armed with the realities that this is not just a us problem, this is a global problem, how best can we be model jurisdiction in bringing every citizen along with us so that they no longer feel less in their country, so that they no longer feel that their opportunities are not there, so that they can feel that their voice matters not only when it's a particular season, and that there is something positive for their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to look forward to. And in addition to that, that even those young adults who we're building for feel a part of the trajectory in which we're going. So, Auntie Sabrina Turner, Will AI be flying our plane soon? I'll ask to see the captain before I buckle my seatbelt, because I'm sure as hell won't be flying. Pretty much, there's some AI features in the recent Boeings right now. To say that there will be a day where we will have planes flying without pilots, with the pace in which things are going, I won't write it off. But whether or not there will be somebody on board that can troubleshoot, it's a reality. I'm not going to write it off. You ever rub $25 phone credit trying to get a department? AI gone take $50 off of your user says, so there's a lack of oversight in the process, and locals are being used as a symbolic placeholder so the box can be checked. Pretty much. And that hurts like hell, user. That hurts like hell. Denver says, don't know why this show seems so long this evening, but thanks for always breaking down our failures, past and present. Hopefully our people will grasp something from you. Yeah, I don't know if it's pacing. I don't know if it's divine intervention. I don't know, Denver, but I had to finish it today to let you know that there is hope. There is hope. Cameron is saying, I remember years ago when Caymanians submitted 2 applications to a company years ago, one being for a real Caymanian, another for a fake person. The one who got a reply was the fake person. You know, I heard something but I didn't realize it was true. That true? OMG. Oh, gosh. Harry says, could there be a quota for local Caymanians once they reach a certain amount of workers? That is a suggestion as well. But as we're looking at reforming it from a national perspective, I'm sure some of these things will be explored without making it be so. I know that there's a nationality demographic balance that has to be done, but an actual quota, that's going into a threshold where you're actually trying to tell people how far they can expand or all that. But look, I'm not the expert here. I'm not the technocrat. Let's see what is in the future of reforms. Andrew is saying our elder community pensions are increasing more and more every day. Elderly care is becoming a serious issue. Electricity to keep them cool, food, medical care, and their pension, if they have any, cannot meet their needs. There is so many work permits taken out for this market niche. So many Caymanians can integrate into this role. I gotta be honest with you, meaning for caregivers, elderly becoming medical care for persons it cannot needs. So there's work permits taken out for this market. So many work permits. You got a lot of locals who are saying that they don't want their locals working in their homes. That's a different conversation, and that's a cultural thing, but that's a story for another day. That's not our culture. The only thing Caymanians can't do, Raunya, is be governor. Oh boy, you back in full swing. Caymanians still teaching newcomers how to yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth. We hear that all the time here. Denver says, I believe our government can run the country without such mass importation of foreigners. Politicians also need to be business people, not just politicians. You know what? You hit the nail on the head. One of the conversations that I had last night said that how much persons who are elected have really run businesses, like really grassroots business. And interesting that you said that, because that brought back one of the conversations that I had last. Not many. And it was out of the same concept. They would not really understand the true struggles of a lot of the business owners out here in Denver. So it's funny you said that, because that came up in a conversation last night. Cameron is saying, also teach them finance, not free, and nothing in this world is. You're quite right. Everything has a bill. We talk so much about Caymanians selling out our land, but refuse to remind us to not sell. People can do what they want, though, at the end of the day. You see, you can't tell them what not to do. Cameron says our culture depends on what we're willing to defend. Good evening, caller. As we're 1 minute to the show, you're live.
Yes, yeah. Good evening, good evening,
Sabrina.
So I got 200 people talking. And standard is talking.
That's okay.
I know I only got 1 minute left. Just a quick question. I'm throwing it out there because I've been trying to throw it out to see if we can get some feedback on it. Can you tell me, or can you look into to see if there's anything in our constitution that blocks? And I'm not being Caymanian against foreigners and nothing like that, but we need to secure our next generations or 3 generations from now. We need to know if there's anything in the law that blocks all those people that have got Cayman status that does not have no Caymanian connection. So in other words, then they got status by residence, being here for X amount of time. Is there anything in the law that blocks them from being able to run for Parliament as an elected representative for the Cayman Islands? So we don't know.
That would fall under the elections law.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It wouldn't necessarily be the Constitution. I stand to be corrected, but that would more fall under under the elections law, which I think they need to revise, or they're in the process of doing that.
Because, like I told someone earlier, or I saw on the radio a few days ago, we must remember now that just the 2003 status graph, that mass status graph that we had, that's 23 years ago. And now their generations have now been able to have children here. And so are they now going to be able to run for Parliament, and they don't have any Caymanian connection just because they're born here now? So we need to look into it, because this is serious times coming for Caymanians, because again, that's another push. Because, you know, once they get in, because like the big paper money men, like the dart, I'm not sure to call them the darts, and them that is got status by choice of cabinet. We need to know, because they don't, as far as I know, he don't have no Caymanian connection. He's just an investor. Because if he has status and he's now able to run for Parliament, we're in a serious problem.
Well, like I said, that would fall under the current, under the elections law, and how it is worded as is, he would not be able to stand for election. But that doesn't say that his children, offspring, after being here, I think there's a number of 25 years or something like that, that they would be eligible. There's a number 25 that stands out, but I'll get that clarity for you. But it wouldn't necessarily be the Constitution. It would be the legislation that governs the election, the electoral process.
I think that we need to get that put in our Constitution, because in my opinion, that's my opinion, we're going to end up with the same, and I'm not against nobody, but we're going to end up with the same thing that what we had with the same-sex marriage. When our Constitution says that marriage is in between a man and a woman, we was told, I always call Dr. Taylor. No, not Dr. Taylor, the last governor, Martin Roper. Martin Roper, I called him 81 because I had a lot of people pulled out.
Oh my God.
I've always called him 81 from this. So when 81 pulled out that law, in our face, after we had it in our Constitution that it's not, same sex is not part of our heritage, that I'm looking that we can get the same thing about the elections coming up. Okay. And remember now, all of those people, we only got 2 years, because we already gone 2 years already. We got 2 years to get that law in place, because the next generation is going to be, the same ones that got started now is going to be able to run in 2029. So let's watch for it.
There
we
you go.
all need to make up. And if it takes, if we as Caymanians need to all come together, if we need to call a referendum to get it put in, they're doing referendums and everything else, we need to get a referendum going on that.
Well, like you said, a frequent friend of the show that we haven't heard from in a while constantly says it is not our constitution. That is the UK's constitution, because it was not written by the people of the Cayman Islands. So, but I get exactly what your point is. But I'll definitely look into that a little bit more for you.
We're in trouble. Serious trouble.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, my love.
Very much.
All right.
Goodbye.
Have a good evening. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of Sabrina Speaks, right here on the CMRTV.com here for this evening. And yes, Denver, it really seemed long, but that's because you were either bored or there was so much information, you're like, oh my God, I don't want her to end now, because she always end when we get the juicy stuff. And but yeah, it did feel a little longer this evening, and I'm just over by 5 minutes. I hope I don't get in trouble. But this is what I'm saying. Sometimes I don't want to lose all of you guys who are streaming on the CMR platform. What I want to encourage you guys to do, right? Go and look for Sabrina Turner, community activist Facebook page, and follow it. Because I'm telling you, situations and conversations like this, if there's another scheduled programming coming up after me, I can continue with this conversation. But I'm going to have to come off of all of the CMR platforms. So what I want you to do is to go and search for Sabrina Turner, community activist on Facebook, and you're going to follow it. You're going to follow the page, because there are going to be times that I am going to be continuing. And we're seeing where more and more this is becoming a reality, because it's your ask. Continue, just finish the episode. Why do you have to stop now? I don't want to go 4 hours, because eventually we will be on radio, and I have to respect the timing and the pace. But I do understand your desire, your urge, your hunger for continuity. That is a good sign, because it tells me you're hungry for more. That speaks volumes. Stop it, Cameron. You're something else. But yeah, go ahead and look for the community activist page, Sabrina Turner, community activist, and follow it. And also on YouTube, look for @Sabrina Speaks, the number 12, and follow. You'll see the channel there, and click the bell. Click the bell so that you can either get me on YouTube or you can follow me on Facebook. But it has been a pleasure bringing you another informative, exciting episode. I want to thank all of you for commenting. I want to thank my callers as well for your participation. I always love it. And even for the WhatsAppers. But yeah, I'm sorry. If it's too long, I would prefer you to call, but I do understand. Some of the WhatsApp is just really long, and my apologies there, but I'll address it in the continuation. We know Fridays is Free Flow Fridays as we head on into a long weekend. Looking forward to that for sure. But until tomorrow, please do have a safe and blessed Wednesday evening, wherever and however you choose to do it. And to all of our our ladies and gentlemen in the uniform frontline services, thank you for all that you do. Cameron, welcome back. And Jimbo, I'm going to be reaching out to you so I can give an update to all of your wives and ex-wives here on the Sabrina Speaks. Bye, Harry. Bye, Damien Henry, all of you UK people, everyone streaming us from overseas. Have a good night. And also to all of those who are right here at home. God bless. Love you lots. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.